We're live on Sports Grid with Game Time decisions on a Wednesday night. I'm Kevin Walsh, an hour to go, a packed hour for you coming up. Mark Zinno, Dave Shatterpen, and Scott Wetzel all join us here on a Wednesday night. Excited to talk to them. We'll go through the card once again for you as well at the top of the hour. But we want to get the people here a little same-game parlay action from our man Davis Maddock. Here's his same-game parlay.
All right, guys, we missed out by one Jalen Brunson point on our same game parlay last night, but we're back at it in the NBA tonight. The Phoenix Suns traveling to play at the Brooklyn Nets. The return of Kevin Durant to Brooklyn, and that's the side that we are going to begin with. We are going to take Kevin Durant's Phoenix Suns. We are going to take them minus 3 points against the Nets. Honestly, kind of surprised that this one is not larger. It is a little bit of a schedule discrepancy. The Nets are at home. The Nets do have the rest advantage. But the Suns, honestly, they're just playing really good basketball right now with Booker, Durant, and Beal all healthy. They are missing out on Yusuf Nurkic, but they haven't really seen much of a drop-off down to Drew Eubanks. We are also going to take the over on 233. The Suns have been trending that direction. They're playing smaller on offense, and they are shooting a ton of three-pointers. Obviously, Devin Booker just keeps scoring 50 every single night. But we're going to take a little trip down narrative street here, and we're actually going to take Kevin Durant against his old team to score 35 or more points in this game. So it'll be Durant, not Booker, exploding tonight. This three-leg same-game parlay gives us plus 1,278 odds. Suns minus 3, over 233, and Kevin Durant to score 35 or more points in this game. Good luck tonight, everybody.
All right, big-time payout there from Davis Maddock on the SGP. Our radio audience is here on Sports Grid. It is a Wednesday night, Sirius XM, Channel 159. Kevin Walsh with you here. It's Game Time decisions. He mentions KD. So the KD points prop has moved a bit from the Miami game, 22.5 to now 24.5. That 22.5 is probably something we'll never see again. That's just how it feels. The frustrating thing is, and look, Davis obviously attacked it aggressively in a same-game parlay, but the value on Durant now, I at least find a bit frustrating. What I mean by that is, so you could play as 25 plus, right, minus 130, which I don't mind, but you're getting under 2-1 for him to get to 30. That's just well off of, I think they've dropped those numbers. The idea being, oh, we know you're going to want to take him for 30, right? You're getting 5-1 for 350. They're not hanging KD for 40-plus points in this game. I don't mind the look at all. I think there is a chance he explodes tonight. I don't know how Durant wants to play it, and I think that's going to be really important. I think if Durant really wants to push it and press it down and be the guy and the star of the game and show up the Brooklyn Nets fans, then Devin Booker and Bradley Beal will be happy to allow him to do that. But, again, I don't know if that's how to go. Quick update for everybody on the college board. An early Georgia lead. Just saw this team up 30-16. I'm curious if they've jumped to live favorites in that game. And they have, laying 2.5 at the moment to the Crimson Tide. But the totals dropped to 156.5. That was $1.66.5. So 10 points have come off that number. I'd say, though, Bama is the type of team that can be built for comebacks. A lot of threes, a lot of tempo. So there's a lot of possessions in the game. Something to keep your eyes on. Now, plus 2.5, maybe not the most tempting number, trailing by 12. Again, on the road, we know what that's looked like for a lot of teams this season. But just something to keep your eyes on there. Tied early. A little bit more than midway through the first half in Purdue Northwestern, so do keep your eyes on that. Let me give you my card again for anybody that just might be tuning in. On the NBA side, we were going to be on a PG, 7.5 rebound plus assist number. What I did, you know what, why don't I give it to people? If you're a parlay player, I threw something in with, one of the profit boosts. Russell Westbrook over 3.5 rebounds. Kawhi Leonard over 5.5 rebounds, and James Harden over 9.5 assists from plus 176 to plus 352. So a little 100% profit boost is something I'm going to play with in that game. And I did take very narrative-based. You got to be kidding me. What was even the point? I just found out this guy Zion's out tonight. What is even the point? This stupid league, man. Is that right, huh? Wow. That was my best bet. So there's that. I mean, what are we even doing with this league? And I say this league, like, it's not just the league, right? It's the play. I don't know. Let's just stop playing 82 games then. Realistically, how is this worth it? How is this worth it? Playing 82 games and nobody can and stay healthy. And I don't really care to get into a whole big soft verse modern medicine. I don't care about any of that. Okay? It is just very clear that for whatever reason these guys can't handle anything close to an 82 game schedule anymore. So why are we doing it? Why? You can say, because we're going to then lose home. Just make the tickets higher. I don't care if you're going to lose home games. Just make the tickets more. They're already expensive as is. And again, if there's less games, then fans might show up more. All right? You're telling me, a place like New Orleans right now is so bothersome because they're selling out 41 home. They're not selling out 41 home games. Maybe you could actually get more fans in attendance if you only had 30 home games, but Zion was going to play in all of them. I don't know, man. It's frustrating. Obviously, I'm a bit tilted because I want to give you guys some juice tonight. Look, a 3-pick NBA card, admittedly, I know isn't the juiciest, but hopefully that's what we had yesterday, and I was fortunate enough to go 3-0. So I was hoping we ran it back. I've lost 2 out of 3 since the show started. It's frustrating. I'm not going to lie to you, folks. It's frustrating. That's a real-time reaction. I don't know. I don't know. I'm going to give you what the Zion breakdown was. 9.5 rebounds plus assists. What an absolute waste. I guess maybe that's why Coach just came in tonight with nothing but sides, right? At least you're going to have the bet. At least you're going to be on no matter what. Like, maybe you get screwed by the injury news. I'll tell you, Jay, why I didn't get screwed by this, though, because he's on Houston. So that line's going to work their way a little bit more. They were a dog. They're a favorite now, laying 1.5. Orlando's up to 6.5. No Luka, no Kyrie tonight. No Luka, no Kyrie, no Jokic. Maybe Durant won't play tonight. Maybe Durant and Dame won't play. That'd be great. Wouldn't that be fun? The SGA should take tonight. You know what? I hope every superstar doesn't play 65 games. So this league can figure out that plan didn't work. Because that plan was never going to work. Joel Embiid last night just basically went out, and let's be honest, played injured because of this awful 65-game minimum. Is that what the NBA wanted? Great, awesome, great, wonderful. I hope Mark Zeno has the worst NBA slate of all time so that can put a smile on my face. And what I mean by that is he usually has ugly picks. Everything on the NBA tonight is ugly now, officially. We'll be right back. Gosh!
I thought that Mike would maybe go in a different direction or at least listen to some people with some different ideas.
If you were going to retain Mike Tomlin as coach, and I believe with both feet that you shouldn't let him really anywhere near this hire. That he had proved over the years that this was not an area of comfort or expertise for him.
Pharrell Coast to Coast, only on Sports Grid.
Your gut says Miami is going to win, and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFT selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on Sports Grid and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR against the zone coverage. The New York D has the most sacks in the league. So yeah, trust your head. It's smarter to be on Sports Grid.
Oh, it's a beautiful time. NBA players are going wild. If I had to guess, a lot of people are going to get real angry. No defense, no defense, no defense. See, I want people to understand this, okay? Because we're always honest. When I take that big pause, that means we're thinking about betting big.
Game time decisions. Only on Sports Grid. It's smarter to be on Sports Grid. Your 24/7 sports wagering network.
Well, look at the Heisman Trophy.
The early line.
And what it all means. Individual success.
You should have tried to get something for Anthony Rendon. Not bought at the deadline.
Newswire.
We're getting a lot of news. Trades, cuts, and some movement in terms of starting quarterbacks,
Pharrell,
backup quarterbacks.
coast to coast.
I want to watch great players make buckets and win games.
Game time decisions.
I have no idea what the heck the Blazers are doing and what they
In-game live. Prime time.
Yard for a grand slam.
The bottom of the fourth inning in a 12-2 baseball game. We got football scores going on at Wrigley right now.
Sports Rage
That was
late
better.
night.
We waited for the 1.5. We got paid.
We did.
Did like the 2.5. Jumped on.
There's no taking weeks off in golf betting ever. These are the best weeks to bet.
It's smarter to be on Sports Grid.
Welcome back. Live right here on Sports Grid. Kevin Walsh. I just saw a tweet that said DJ Wagner was not out there for warm-ups. So, I don't know. Can we lose the whole card? Is that possible? Mark Zinno's here. Mark, how are you? I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm going through it right now. I'm going through it. I listen. I at this point would rather have an 0-5 night than spend my time tapping games, giving out picks, and then everybody's just injured and they don't even play. I'm a little tilted. I'm being honest with you.
Happens to the best of us. You could be Alabama right now that is getting smoked by Georgia by 14 on the road. Look, I stayed away from this. I was halfway tempted to play Alabama first half and just like lay the 3 or 3.5, thinking that Georgia, the scrappy team that they are, would find their way back in it, much similar to what they did against Florida, where they were down by 20-something and then crawled all the way back in and forced overtime, ended up losing. But I did not expect Alabama to come out and be down by 14. Of course, they haven't hit a 3 yet, I don't think. I think they're 0 from 3-point range.
Sure.
They've won. They're 1 for 10 from 3-point range to start the game.
Lord knows they'll keep chucking them. That is for sure. I'll just say this quickly to people. If DJ Wagner does not play, all of his props are still posted for those that bet in states where you can bet college player props. So if he does end up missing this game, there's basically just guaranteed value then on everybody that isn't DJ Wagner. I'll leave it at that. What did you, if anything, decide to bet on tonight, Mark, in the college game?
I laid -3 with Kentucky in the first half, which looks like it's going to be some closing line value here as they tip this thing off here in about 45 minutes. That line went from 6 this morning. It's now up to 8 in certain places, 7.5, 8. So I'll polish up the closing line value. It's the CLV trophy, my third in 3 days so far. I'm 1-1. I hope this one cashed it for me. Again, I had closing line value on the Villanova Marquette under last night, and boy, that thing sailed way over. I mean, way over, way over. So it was not fun. But I did have closing line value on the Knicks the other night against Charlotte, and that one did cash for me.
There you go. All right, so. Based on what I've been told about CLV, you're supposed to win tonight. You just got to beat the number.
I hope so.
Let's hope that's the case. Are you taking anything tonight in the NBA?
Yeah, I'm actually backing, and I do this with a sense of trepidation, although it shouldn't be. I'm backing the Phoenix Suns against the Brooklyn Nets here. And I took them on the money line. I did not. I got -155. I didn't want to be bothered with points in this thing. A lot of this, too, is more about a fade of the Nets. Look, I backed the Nets on Tuesday. What was it? Monday night when they were a 1-point dog at home against Utah. Yeah, let's go to 147 in that game. The Nets won 2 in a row. Have now won 2 in a row for the first time since winning back-to-back games over the Pistons over Christmas between December 23rd and December 26th. They're now trying to win their third in a row since the first time since beginning of December when they beat the Magic, the Hawks, and the Wizards. So, as you can see, the Nets don't beat a lot of really good teams. I still think Phoenix is a really good team. So, after a span of the Nets covering 2 out of 13 games, and I've gone 3-3 ATS over the last 6. So, a little failure of the Nets scoring 147. Suns defense is much better than the Jazz. This is an offense where the Nets only shoots 46% in the season. So I expect a little bit of regression here. Now, scary part is that the Suns are on the 5th game of a 7-game road trip, starting out 2-2. So legs may be starting to get a little weary. Nobody of the big 3 was on the injury report. That doesn't mean that they're all going to show up and play. I mean, this game tips off at 8 Eastern or 8:30. That doesn't mean all of a sudden at the last minute one of them is going to get scratched. But the expectation that Booker, Beal, and Durant should all play. And I think this line looking a little bit shorter feels more of a reflection of the Suns in the middle of a big road trip and the Nets' minor recent success than a trap line per se. Phoenix is 1-8-10 with a favorable price on the money line here. I ain't worried about them covering 3.5. I'll just take the Suns on the money line to win.
Yeah, look, I think it makes sense. Also, the Nets' best player, Ben Simmons, isn't available tonight, so I think that's a little boost.
I kind of hope Simmons was playing because his defense is terrible, so that should aid the Suns scoring. So if he's on the floor, there's part of me that thinks that.
Was small sample size. I think he only played like 20. He was excellent, though, in the first game back against Utah. But I think it's a different injury, too, that, like, what was keeping him out all that time, I think it's now something different. So a little run-in tonight from Ben Simmons. Curious, Mark, have you locked anything in yet, Super Bowl-wise here, Niners-Chiefs?
Not officially. Look, I keep telling people, and aside from what pros tell you about what you tease and what you don't, from a pure numbers standpoint, if you'd like to take a 7-point teaser and tease the Chiefs to 8.5 and the total from 47.5 down to 40.5 and go over the key total of 41, because 41 is a key total, go over 40.5, you do what you want with your own money. I haven't done it yet. I'm contemplating doing it. I want to see how much longer these numbers hold out and if there starts to be any movement on it. But I believe they'll get to 41. I believe each of these teams will score at least 20, or one team will get 24 and the other one will get to 17, which gets me to 41 at some point throughout the game. And as much as I am praying and hoping and, down on my knees asking God to let the 49ers win this game, they're not doing it by more than a touchdown.
I think the interesting thing with that, though, Mark, is before the 2 playoff games, and obviously I'm not saying that those aren't relevant, I think every Brock Purdy win was by a touchdown or more, though. Now, different opponents. Obviously, there's been a lot of bad there, regular season and what have you. But typically, and that's what's been so interesting about this, would you agree, Mark, that what the Niners did in the NFC playoffs was the exact opposite of what people expected, where they just trailed for a lot of it and then had to do come-from-behind wins?
Yeah, I think, look, their offense was what let everybody down in the Green Bay game, right? Like, them holding Green Bay to 21 was not unexpected. Not many teams got past 20 on the Niners, only a handful, because their defense is really good. It's just that their offense, once Deebo Samuel went out of that game, changed dynamically.
Yeah.
They get Deebo Samuel back, and they're able to score 34, and lo and behold, they dug themselves a hole defensively, which you didn't really expect. So they have to put it all together on both sides of the ball. They've got to play a high-level game defensively like they did against Green Bay and a high-level offensive game like they did against Detroit in order to be able to win this thing. Look, the total and the over correlate to the Niners. I don't want the Niners in a one-score game late that is under, because guess who makes all the plays in tight games late? The Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes. Always. Right? Like, we've got a big enough sample size here. If you needed one play from either one of these offenses or either one of these defenses right now with the game on the line, who are you picking to make the play? I'm picking the Chiefs because I've seen it 500 times before. I've seen Kyle Shanahan and the 49ers choke at times in big games and in big moments. So the over correlates to the Niners winning this game. The more the Niners get the Chiefs can't get to 30. Not without defensive help or a special teams touchdown or something that's short. They're not getting to 30. So if the Niners get to 30, lock this game up. It's Niners win.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. I think it's interesting, though, because I think if you like the Chiefs, you have to think that their offense is going to have an excellent game, though. because there's a level of pace that they have to keep.
Yep.
Like the world where the Chiefs bog down and win this game, 17-10 carbon copy, I think you're not going to hold the Niners down for 4 quarters. You're not.
Theoretically,
and, so we'll see. Look, I think the conversation for me, Mark, though, I'm not saying anything that you just said, but just kind of the outside, what we've heard from people, is you would think the Chiefs scored 35 against Baltimore. The way people have left that game being like, I'll never bet against Mahomes again in my entire life. That's not how that game played out. And I still haven't seen this Chiefs team flirt with the ceiling that they used to have offensively. But again, time will tell. Mark, I appreciate it. Best of luck on the college board tonight, and I'm sure we'll talk more.
Sounds good, Kev. Thanks.
All right, great stuff as always there from Mark Zinno. As he mentioned, that Bama team trailing big time now, 14 points at the break here to the Georgia Bulldogs. 2 of 11 from 3. Certainly something we'll put eyes on. Dave Sharapan is up next.
Thought that Mike would maybe go in a different direction, or at least listen to some people with some different ideas.
If you were going to retain Mike Tomlin as coach, and I believe with both feet that you shouldn't let him really anywhere near this hire. That he had proved over the years that this was not an area of comfort or expertise for him.
Pharrell Coast to Coast, only on Sports Grid.
Your gut says Miami is going to win, and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFT selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on Sports Grid and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR against the zone coverage. The New York D has the most sacks in the league. So yeah, trust your head. It's smarter to be on Sports Grid.
Oh, it's a beautiful time. NBA players are going wild. If I had to guess, a lot of people are going to get real angry. No defense, no defense, no defense. See, I want people to understand this, okay? Because we're always honest. When I take that big pause, that means we're thinking about betting big.
Game time decisions, only on Sports Grid. It's smarter to be on Sports Grid, your 24/7 sports wagering network.
Well, look at the Heisman Trophy.
The early line.
And what it all means. Individual success.
You should have tried to get something for Anthony Rendon. Not bought at the deadline.
Newswire.
We're getting a lot of news. Trades, cuts, and some movement in terms of starting quarterbacks.
Pharrell Coast to Coast.
I want to watch great players make buckets and win games.
Game time decisions.
I have no idea what the heck the Blazers are doing and what they
in-game live, prime time.
Yard for a grand slam.
The bottom of the 4th inning in a 12-2 baseball game. We got football scores going on at Wrigley right now.
Sports Rage
That was
late
good betting.
night.
We waited for 1.5. We got paid.
We did.
Did like the 2.5. Jumped on.
There's no taking weeks off in golf betting ever. These are the best weeks to bet.
It's smarter to be on Sports Grid.
All right, welcome in Game Time Decisions. Kevin Walsh, very happy that Dave Sharapan is here. He's done this enough with me that he's going to be able to handle this well.
Yes.
So All right, let's kind of go through, right? So we had 5 picks to start the day. Paul George, out. Zion, out. Heat money line. They luckily can't rule that out, but you never know. Maybe they'll blow the roof off or something. Aiden Holloway, 1.5 threes.
Okay.
I already have him coming off the bench. Maybe Bruce Pearl just won't put him in the game. And then DJ Wagner. Now, here's what I would tell you. You might say, what do I do if I already bet DJ Wagner? Don't worry, they're going to give you your money back. DJ Wagner's not going to play tonight. I am following Twitter. Nobody has seen DJ Wagner out there on the court at Kentucky tonight. Not a soul.
Wow.
Okay? Here's the deal.
Okay.
DJ Wagner has had ankle issues before, and this is why I'm glad Consig is here, because he could speak to whether or not a college basketball kid being absent would all of a sudden change the props market wildly. I'd imagine, Dave, the answer is nobody told the guys in the room. Fair?
Very fair. That's probably exactly what happened.
Okay.
The only thing you might do is, one, you want to turn him off as soon as you possibly can so you don't take any more bets and lock anybody's money up. You might slide one guy. There might be one other adjustment that you move as far as like a points prop, but no, that's it. It's not going to affect anything.
But here's the thing. There's a guy they should move. New best bet, not a force. I promise this is just a great spot.
Whoa.
Reed Shepherd, 20-plus points, rebounds, and assists. It is plus 105. This is a great spot. DJ Wagner picked up an ankle injury, against Miami.
Yep.
Reed Shepherd played 30 minutes, 21 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists. Wagner then could not play against UNC Wilmington. 39 minutes for Reed Shepherd, 25 points, 9 rebounds, 6 assists. Last game out against Arkansas, DJ did end up on the bench at one point. Guess what? 35 minutes for Reed Shepherd. 14 points, 4 rebounds, 5 assists. That is every single one of those games with over the 20 PRA. If you look, this also happened against Texas A&M. Now, it was an overtime game, but why does that matter? He played over 30 minutes, 13 points, 6 rebounds, 3 assists. Reed Shepherd is another one of the McDonald's All-American on this team. He's sneaky, maybe the best prospect on the whole roster, but he's got to find his way to get his minutes. Well, you know what happens? Starting point guard DJ Wagner doesn't play. New starting point guard Reed Shepherd does. They're playing the 18th fastest team in college basketball in Florida. The total tonight's $170. You think that's a good spot to take a kid over the PRA? Dave? Reed Shepherd night. A happy Reed Shepherd night to all those who celebrate, quite frankly.
Breaking news. I love this. I love that's the way you talk through a bet. That's the way you kind of justify a position. You did it all right there within, I believe it was under 2 minutes. I mean, there's no lane violation. There's no shot clock violation. You got it all out. Well explained. Excellent argument. I think it's a good play. After hearing that case, the total's so high. Is that what the kids are calling it now? K-Dub, a PRA, or is that a K-Dub special? PRA.
I think people call it PRA. People call it PRA.
I like this. I'm adopting that.
And it's really interesting. And you know, look, for the record, some people will say, hey, what if DJ plays? We're screwed. That's all.
No, it's not a possibility. I love the fact that the total's so high. I love the fact that they're playing an opponent that plays fast. Is it an automatic we're dead? Like, if he plays, I mean, how much could it be adjusted? I think we're live either way. More so
yes. To your point, I'm betting a number that the books think DJ's playing.
Right.
None of the DJ props are gone. It's not that they haven't moved it. I can bet anything I want on DJ Wagner right now. Like, if you wanted to get tricky, I'm not going to do this. I think it's going to be a waste. Bet every DJ under. Maybe Kentucky's insane enough to check him into the game. You're going to get credited if he gets pulled.
Plays
right?
a minute. Just gets in there. Yep.
I'm not playing that game. I don't think he checks in. So, Reed Shepherd. I will say, and this is just something that's. So I actually want. Let me ask this from your perspective.
Mm-hmm.
As a bettor,
Yep.
I get very frustrated with the lack of honesty we get from college, or maybe not even honesty, but they are not required to send out lineups in the way the NBA are, injury reports like the NFL, right? Do odds makers wish they got that? Because I know as a bettor, I wish I do. Are odds makers fine living in this world?
It's the only world they know. So, yes, would more information help? Maybe. Odds makers question everything. We always have and always will. It's just the nature of the life in the business. You don't know why somebody's betting something. You don't know why this number's moving at another joint. You don't know what time this injury report is legit, and then all of a sudden it's not. So I think, yes, if it was done on the level, more information is better for everybody. But if it's going to be, like Belichick just listing half the roster as questionable on a Friday, nah, it's useless. It's not important.
I hope that part of this is because a bunch of you are watching and listening. Every Kentucky player prop is now gone. That was the bet on DraftKings, and those are all gone.
What did you do?
And this would be a good way to check it here. Because let's see if well, hopefully what we've done is set. Yeah, well, all the player props are now off on FanDuel too. So,
but the game doesn't tip for how long?
Half hour. But 20 minutes ago, they mentioned that he wasn't out there for pregame warm-ups.
Oh, okay.
So,
well, the line is coming down. I mean, market-wise.
Calipari confirms. Here's what really just closed it. Calipari's having the press conference. DJ Wagner out. Reed Shepherd starting. I believe the smart folks tell me I already did a great job, right? Isn't that how this works? I already did my job.
Well, I don't know. Some smart folks may be looking for the Kevin Walsh on the socials going, maybe he shouldn't have said anything right away on the show because we could have bet it. So I don't know, but you did do the job. I had to put it out there. The beacon was set up, and we told them not online 7.5 everywhere. By the way, I'm watching my odds screen. Boom, 7.5 painted. So moving.
I gotta say, a real kiss of death though from me tonight. I took 4 player props, and 3 of the players have been ruled out.
Is this a big frustration for you as a bettor? This is part of the issue from a book perspective. When these things became part of the routine, we used to say, why do the work and put up the number if the guy's not going to play? I don't mind putting it up, and I don't mind taking the bets, but then at 3 o'clock, he's not playing. We got to give all the money back, and all the effort is wasted. Is that frustrating as a bettor? I mean, you nailed 3 of them today. What are the chances of that?
Yeah, it's real. It's frustrating. I'll tell you why it's frustrating. Look, this is gonna. I don't want to come off like a pest, but I put in a chunk of work to get to my props specifically, and I don't have a model, and I don't go, you know what, this guy should really get there. So look, nope, I don't have to kind of list through the process. It's not the time, but the point is it takes effort to give you, and that's my job. I'm happy to do it.
Yeah.
But you know what I don't like, Dave? Is that I came in here with, to be honest, a lighter 5-pick card, and now I left with Miami Heat money line and the kid on Auburn who's coming off the bench to make 2 threes. I feel bad for the people.
And it's not like those have a lot of juice per se. So some props have more, I don't know, excitement, potential than others.
And they're not my best bets.
Right. And you got the 2 that, if you were ranking them, I don't want to say they're 4 or 5, but of the 5, they're 3, 4 maybe, or, they're at the bottom of the list, the ones that you have left. It sounds like you put a lot more work into the other ones, higher profile games. So, I feel your frustration, and the people feel it too, but the people know that you're putting in the work and you're doing a good job. So, the people will understand.
We got him a Super Bowl prop today, though, Dave. We did get him a Super Bowl prop today.
Please tell me it's something on the field. Please tell me it's not the Gatorade. It's not the MVP.
Come on. You know me better than that.
Please tell me, what is it? What is it? Give me something good.
Brandon Ayuk over 4.5 receptions.
Oh, I like that. I like that. Game's going over, is it not? I mean, there's going to be opportunities. Yeah, this is a good matchup. No, I like this. Yeah.
The number one wide receivers, they've been checking in a little bit more. I've been noticing it for a long time. Number one wide receivers, I felt like they couldn't get loose against this Chiefs team. It's this is how things ebbs and flows.
They're going to run a couple
Flowers had a
plays
huge game.
specifically for him, K-Dub. They're going to run that flanker screen or that quick wide receiver bubble screen. He's going to get a bunny. One of the receptions is a quick out, get him involved in the game. Then you get a couple more, and boom. You might have this one early third quarter. Perfect.
That's what we're hoping. I'll tell people this. I didn't mention this during my breakdown, though. A lot of times, one of my, with a best bet, I like to, I'll play some alts on it. Don't worry about 6 catches, 7 catches, 8 catches. You then just start to grab the yards. 90, 100, lead the game. You know what I mean? That's how you start to kind of handle it. The more catches, at some point, he breaks out for a big one. Consig, appreciate it. We'll talk more tomorrow. Scott Wetzel up next.
Thought that Mike would maybe go in a different direction or at least listen to some people with some different ideas.
If you were going to retain Mike Tomlin as coach, and I believe with both feet that you shouldn't let him really anywhere near this hire. That he had proved over the years that this was not an area of comfort or expertise for him.
Pharrell Coast to Coast, only on Sports Grid.
Your gut says Miami is going to win, and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFT selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on Sports Grid and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR against the zone coverage. The New York D has the most sacks in the league. So yeah, trust your head. It's smarter to be on Sports Grid.
Oh, it's a beautiful time. NBA players are going wild. If I had to guess, a lot of people are going to get real angry. No defense, no defense, no defense. See, I want people to understand this, okay? Because we're always honest. When I take that big pause, that means we're thinking about betting big.
Game time decisions, only on Sports Grid. It's smarter to be on Sports Grid, your 24/7 sports wagering network.
Well, look at the Heisman Trophy.
The early line.
And what it all means. Individual success.
You should have tried to get something for Anthony Rendon. Not bought at the deadline.
Newswire.
We're getting a lot of news. Trades, cuts, and some movement in terms of starting quarterbacks,
Pharrell
backup quarterbacks.
Coast to Coast.
I want to watch great players make buckets and win games.
Game time decisions.
I have no idea what the heck the Blazers are doing and what they
In-game live. Prime time.
Yard for a grand slam.
The bottom of the fourth inning in a 12-2 baseball game. We got football scores going on at Wrigley right now.
Sports Rage
That was
late
good betting.
night.
We waited for 1.5. We got paid.
We did.
Did like a 2.5. Jumped on.
There's no taking weeks off in golf betting ever. These are the best weeks to bet.
It's smarter to be on Sports Grid.
Back on Game Time decisions. How about this? A Walsh and Wetzel Wednesday. This is a big-time rarity for me. Usually, because I skip Wednesdays, Scott used to always have to fill in for me on the money line. And then I usually get to talk to you, Scott. How's it going, man?
Good, man. How you been? Looking good there, by the way. Getting all set for a big trip to Vegas. Should be a lot of fun out there, right? Stay out of trouble. Stay out of the, the cat houses, please. You don't want to come back with any anything you don't want to have beforehand.
We got the early shift, Scott. We got the early shift, so there's no time for any of that. I'm going to be eating dinner at around 3 p.m., and I'll be asleep by 5. So
I can't
only
imagine. What time do you have to get? You're going to have to get up, like 3 o'clock in the morning to do your show, right? The morning show? 4 o'clock, something like that?
It's live at 5, and we're probably going to get there around 3:30. So in order for me to, wake up, 2:45, that might be late. That might be pushing it. I'm going to snooze that alarm a couple times, though. It's gonna be fun, though. It'll be fine.
Yeah, it'll be blast. What's going on?
Look, let me
ask you a lot of action tonight
about some of the stuff. That's what I'm excited about here. And I want to start with this Florida-Kentucky game. All of a sudden, this is, and I'm sure you have strong feelings on it, Scott, the lack of clarity that we get out of college programs still in 2024 with just how ingrained sports betting is and everything, I find to be a bit ridiculous. Kentucky tonight, no DJ Wagner, no Justin Edwards. So this line, maybe it drops a bit, but this is a big-time total here. You're betting this game tonight?
I heard you talking with Dave, and it was a great point. You do all this work, and people don't maybe appreciate the fact that you have 100 games. So when you give 4, 5, 6 plays, that doesn't mean you're looking at 4, 5, 6 games, right? You're looking at 40, 50, 60 games to get down to the 4, 5, 6 plays. And then you find out all your thinking gets thrown out the window because you don't realize a couple of guys are playing. NBA's not a whole heck of a lot better, and I'm not happy with Dallas sitting all their guys tonight. I'm sitting on Dallas plus 13 thinking, boy, that's a great number this afternoon, right? Holy crow, give me 13. Dallas much better on the road. And we find out that there's no Luka for whatever reason, and there's no Kyrie. No Lively, and no shot with my 13 ticket either. So, yeah, Kentucky, is the Big Z playing? Because he only played 2 minutes, I noticed, the last game. So I was playing a hunch. The last 2 games with him in the lineup, first game against Georgia, it was like 100, literally 100 to 80. It's way over. I've been riding a lot of Kentucky overs this year, great over team. And then I played the over the second game, and it was low scoring. Played the over third game with the Big Z, and he only played 2 minutes. Very, very low scoring. So I said, all right, give me under 171.5. But now I find out, all these guys are off the board. So I don't know what we're going to get out of Kentucky tonight.
Yeah, I think it gets really interesting. I'll be honest with you. I don't know if that 2 minutes. So Kentucky's very, very deep this year. I don't know if that's a hot hand thing. I don't know if that's a matchup thing or if he was injured. And it's college, right? So again, it's not like we have an injury report that we're really going to be able to go check. The interesting thing is you mentioned, though, Kentucky playing 2 slower games. I wonder if that's just time and place or if Cal at some point said, look, I get it. We can score 100. What if we try and bow up here on the defensive side? Because this Florida team, Scott, they're going to want to run with Kentucky. So, look, if the Wildcats want, they can trade bombs with them. But if they go that route, it probably ends up a 2-possession game with 3 minutes left when, you let a team run all game long.
Yeah. At 5.5, if it is still that does look tempting, though, right? And maybe you're right. Maybe Cal says, you know what, ultimately, if the big prize is to win the NCAA championship, then we're not going to do it winning games 100 to 80. We're going to have to win games, maybe 80 to 70 or 75-65. Maybe that's the case. But I don't know if you saw the highlights of him play. I will say this, Kev. I saw the highlights of the first game against Georgia. The guy is like Chet Holmgren and Victor Wembanyama put into one. He's in that same, might not be able to dribble, but he hit like 3 or 4 3-pointers. He's blocking shots. He's making behind-the-back passes. So I can't – there must be something up for him to only get the 2 minutes the last game because the first game, like I said, against Georgia, he was phenomenal. He was exciting for the fan base anyway, so – but I like this Kentucky team, even without the guys, the ticket's already in, so I'm hoping they slow it down tonight. But I agree with you. Florida wants to run and gun for sure.
To your point, by the way, for those that weren't the Big Z, 13 points, 5 rebounds, 2 assists, 3 blocks, 2 steals 16 minutes, 3 threes. I mean, just one of those things. You're like, can we get 25 minutes out of this? But to be fair, can I just get 15 minutes out of him? That might be enough. You're going to take a dog shot here with Providence against number 1 UConn?
I am. You know what? Great bet against number 1 teams this year, right? We'll start there. A whole lot of success doing that. Who can stay number 1 for more than a week? Hardly anybody. 2, Battle of New England, right? Providence and Rhode Island. Obviously, UConn and Connecticut. 8 of the last 9 meetings between these two teams, Kev, have been decided by 12 points or less. Now I'm getting 12.5. You buy the hook, you get it up to 13. A couple of those are in overtime. So, unless we get a rare blowout, I think, Providence pretty good. Maybe not on the level of UConn, but I think they're going to keep it within single digits. I like Providence a lot in the game.
Scott, are you buying into the UConn repeat? I think the one thing, look, obviously they're great. But it's really hard to repeat. If memory is correct, Florida, the last team, you're talking 2 decades.
Yeah, Billy Donovan's team, right? Great team. Listen, they played their best basketball at the end of the year, clearly, last year. They were a good team, but they weren't on that level. I remember they were number 4 seed, I think it was. So, the chance of that happening 2 years in a row, they got most of the guys back, Kev. They do, but I think somewhere along the line they're going to stub their toe. I mean, it's so wide open this year, right? You could name 15 teams. You really could. And without a blink of an eye, say they're going to win the championship. Say, okay, I get it. I could see that. So the chances of UConn having that kind of Cinderella run again, but here they sit, though, as the number 1 team in the country. So it's not like, they're coming back to the pack. But them and Florida Atlantic both, I kind of see, not that they're not good enough to repeat what they did last year, but if they got knocked out in the second round, it wouldn't surprise me. It really wouldn't.
Yeah, I mean, I think FAU... Yeah, the fact that FAU thinks they can turn it on as if they're like the Golden State Warriors, I think is hilarious. They've been wildly unimpressive to me. You're betting the American tonight. Memphis lays a big number to Rice. What are you doing there?
Yeah, I tell you, I hemmed and hawed on this, and I made the right move last night with Gonzaga, and I'm going to do it again tonight. And that is, I wanted to play the over Memphis because they've lost 3 straight, have not played well, obviously, in doing so. So they're overdue, Kev, for a monster effort. I was going to go with the over 155.5, and I said, we got the Rice, which is 1-6 in conference play. They're not good. I could see this one being 100-50 and the game going under. So I'm more secure with taking the team total, which I don't do often, but I'm going to do it tonight. Over 85.5 Memphis. They're at home. Like I said, Rice isn't any good. I think Memphis is good for 90 points, so I'm not going to worry about Rice having to put up 55 or 60, 65 even to get to that 155. Give me Memphis over 85.5 points, and I'm not going to worry about laying 13.5. I can't do that with a team that's lost 3 in a row, susceptible to the backdoor cover. So give me Memphis over
it makes a lot of
85.5 points.
And then a lot of points. Look, the WCC this year, man, and I know – if I'm not mistaken, you used to give, Mark Few a lot of gruff for not being able to cross the finish line. And you look now, when these, projected brackets, and I know it's not February yet, but still, they have Gonzaga on the first 4 out. If he spends all that time at the top and if he missed his window, it would really, really be fascinating. There is one WCC game tonight. It actually features what is currently the best team in that conference and still unbeaten St. Mary's, Scott.
Yeah, it's a more balanced league, Kev. It used to be just Gonzaga, right, and everybody else. Then St. Mary's got themselves into that picture. There used to be Gonzaga and St. Mary's. And this year, as you talk there about the Zags, they're not that same dominant team putting 100 points on the board. And not that St. Mary's is falling back way back, but they have come back a little bit. They 5-6 losses, and San Francisco's pretty good, and this Santa Clara team is pretty good. Now, they got whacked 3 weeks ago at home by 24 by St. Mary's, but that's okay. They're still good. And I just think, getting that many points, 13.5 points, they're in a good little rebound spot, little revenge. Maybe Mary's thinks, okay, no big deal. We whacked them by 20-plus a few weeks back. We'll do the same here. I just think that's a big number. One team is 15-7. The other team is 16-6. You know what? You want to give me that many points with to me, a balanced slate? I'll take that, figuring that we can keep this thing close.
Yeah, I got no beef with that one bit. Durant's triumphant return to the Barclays Center.
Yeah.
Here's my thing with this one, Scott, is I was on KD's points in the game against Miami because they dropped it down 22.5. I'm like, it's no way. It's KD, and he missed it. And I'm probably being a scorned better, not going back to him here. But I just don't know. I don't know if KD cares enough. Like, he's still online. He's arguing with fans about he doesn't want the welcome back, video package. What are you doing with this game tonight here?
Yeah, I'm taking Phoenix. It opened up at 3.5. It did drop to 3. I almost forgot about the KD thing, and then I just started, looking into it and thinking about it. I was like, oh, that's right. KD's back in town. Does the Brooklyn Net fan really care about Kevin Durant, in any shape, form, positive or negative? Probably not. It really, it was a disaster from the get-go. They probably have more angst against Kyrie than they would KD anyway, to tell you the truth. So, but, I did play his points over 24.5. I like Phoenix. Yeah. They're playing good ball. Brooklyn won back-to-back games for the first time in literally a month, but it's still the Brooklyn Nets. It's been a struggle for them this season. So I think they're all going to kind of rally around the troops and get KD his points. They all kind of take turns with the Beal or Booker or KD. I think this is going to be like, okay, it's my turn to step up. And 25 is not that much anyway. So give me Phoenix to win, and I'm going to go over the 24.5 points for KD.
Yeah, again, Scott, I can't knock it one bit, right? This is if he doesn't score 25 tonight, I'm almost then going to be like, all right, I guess this is the new Durant. He's now just going to take the role as, I don't know, third guy here. Maybe he I have no idea, right? Like KD a week ago, I'm sure you had a lot of fun. Was like, I don't understand why I'm not in the GOAT debate. I'm pretty sure Scott or I could explain that to one to him pretty easily, though, if I had to imagine Scott.
Yeah, wouldn't take long, KD. The fact that you're just looking for the championship there without Steph Curry by your side may play a role in that. You think the 8 years or whatever it was, 7, 8 years at OKC and the disaster in Brooklyn and everything else. So if you don't quite get it now, Kevin, then not meaning you, but Kevin Durant, then
yes,
I don't know what has to be said. So and the other NBA play was Dallas plus the 13, but again, I put these in this afternoon when I thought at least Luka was going to play because he's been on such a tear, but they said no Luka tonight and no Kyrie tonight. So, but I still got a funny feeling that Dallas will find a way. 13-8 against the spread on the road. They're much better on the road than they are at home for whatever reason. And Minnesota's only 8-2 as home favorites against the spread. So I'll stick with my 13 and not bail.
Yeah, look, it's a lot of points there. Scott, appreciate it. Wish you the best. And you can catch Scott Wetzel tonight in-game live. He'll be alongside Dave Showerpan for 2 hours. So make sure you lock in. Again, Scott, appreciate it.
You got it, man. Anytime, Kev.
All right, great stuff there. We'll close it out. Game time decisions on Sports Grid.
Thought that Mike would maybe go in a different direction or at least listen to some people with some different ideas.
If you were going to retain Mike Tomlin as coach, and I believe with both feet that you shouldn't let him really anywhere near this hire. That he had proved over the years that this was not an area of comfort or expertise for him.
Pharrell Coast to Coast, only on Sports Grid.
Your gut says Miami is going to win, and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFT selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on Sports Grid and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR against the zone coverage. The New York D has the most sacks in the league. So yeah, trust your head. It's smarter to be on Sports Grid.
Oh, it's a beautiful time. NBA players are going wild. If I had to guess, a lot of people are going to get real angry. No defense, no defense, no defense. See, I want people to understand this, okay? Because we're always honest. When I take that big pause, that means we're thinking about betting big.
Game time decisions. Only on Sports Grid. It's smarter to be on Sports Grid. Your 24/7 sports wagering network.
Well, look at the Heisman Trophy.
The early line.
And what it all means. Individual success.
You should have tried to get something for Anthony Rendon. Not bought at the deadline.
Newswire.
We're getting a lot of news. Trades, cuts, and some movement in terms of starting quarterbacks,
Pharrell,
backup quarterbacks.
coast to coast.
I want to watch great players make buckets and win games.
Game time decisions.
I have no idea what the heck the Blazers are doing and what they
In-game live.
Just
Prime time.
yard for a grand slam.
In the bottom of the fourth inning in a 12-2 baseball game. We got football scores going on at Wrigley right now.
Sports Rage
That was
late
better.
night.
We waited for the 1.5. We got paid.
We did.
Did like the 2.5. Jumped on.
There's no taking weeks off in golf betting ever. These are the best weeks to bet.
It's smarter to be on Sports Grid.
Live with you on Sports Grid. Kevin Walsh, we're closing it out. Sadly, no best bet to give you, which stinks because I enjoyed doing it. But Zion is out. Let me take a look. I'll see if the Kentucky stuff popped back up. Oh, it did. Oh, but Reed Shepherd didn't. Yeah. Look, some people are going to bet Rob Dillingham. I get it. Let me take a look for the people. Let me see if Rob Dillingham's worth it. And I know this isn't even available on every single book, but it's still worth a look. So, but here's what I would be careful though. Dillingham did not get put in the starting lineup, and Dillingham missed the last game as well against Arkansas, against Miami, 12-5-9. And he was awful against Wilmington. So, no Reed Shepherd props. I would be cautious there. Reeves is kind of like your secure man, but hopefully Reed Shepherd can get the job done in that spot. The only thing I have that's upcoming, and I wonder if we've heard any more around it, but I'm on Aiden Holloway over in this spot against Vanderbilt tonight, over 1.5 made threes. And it's one of those things, it's kind of the perfect opponent playing Vanderbilt tonight because this team's a 20-point favorite. See, I think Holloway, I like this Auburn group, right? And Holloway is important if this team is going to hit their ceiling, which is national champions. That's their ceiling, Auburn, very clearly. Holloway's going to be important for that. But the game-to-game matters a ton for the Tigers, right? They're going to still try and win in the SEC. And if this team was playing Tennessee tonight, then I don't know what the Holloway minutes would look like. You're a 20-point home favorite against Vanderbilt, trying to bounce back at 2 straight losses. Holloway's going to get his. Unless this ends up Auburn fully off the wagon and there's a 1-point game with 3 minutes left, then you're going to see Holloway tonight 20 plus. If I'm Bruce Pearl, truly 25, 30 plus, I'm making sure Holloway gets his against Vanderbilt. Time will tell. Game time decisions. I will see you tomorrow right here.